The special issue is really about bringing kind of the broader landscape of precision efforts in healthcare, child welfare, and psychology, and bringing that to research in the schools, which is largely focusing on making sure we get the right interventions in place for kids so we can optimize the success rate of our intervention efforts. It's not just introducing something new, it's really recognizing the history of research in the schools that's already been dedicated to evaluating and generating more precise and effective interventions, but also giving an idea what the frontier of research on precision education could look like in the schools.
So the thing I find most exciting about this is it provides a framework. We've been researching this type of information and topic for 50 years and without much success. So we're hoping this will provide a new framework for which, and a different lens through which we can look at the research and guide future research so we can have our interventions be more effective for kids.
I think there's enough research now to suggest too that it's not always going to be that the same intervention works for a lot of different kids, and there's ways by which if we collect the right data, we can individualize supports and make it more effective for kids too. So it's thinking about a different approach to evidence-based intervention, where it's not just that this one thing works for a lot of kids, it's about this general framework works for a lot of kids. It's just that we need information to be able to make it work for them in particular based upon their unique needs. Jerry August's paper on sequential multiple adaptive randomized trials, so SMART designs, which have a lot of relevance to the precision education research. This is about how do we develop good adaptive interventions that work for kids and can be adapted to their individual needs and how they're responding to that intervention over time. So they give a great overview of how that research might apply to education, and I think it's a really good resource for researchers out there.
The paper that stands out for me is Carol Connor's on looking at utilizing technology to inform precise math interventions. What's really exciting is the idea of building algorithms so we can create essentially a TurboTax system whereby we seek information and the software actually provides recommendations that are tailored to individual kids with regard to the types of instruction they may benefit, the amount of instructions they actually need to receive. It's really exciting work.
We did a meta-analysis, Matt Hall and I, looking at the effects of reading interventions, small group interventions that we compared holistic, comprehensive ones that try to address multiple areas of reading, or one that really focuses just on decoding or fluency or something like that, that's much more targeted. And the targeted ones were almost twice as effective than were the comprehensive ones.
I think the special issue hopes to highlight this type of intervention work that's being done and bring people to folks in the field back to the recognition that just always doing the same thing or just knowing what works for you, what's typical, might not be what's most effective. So it's bringing a focus back on considering individual unique struggles and needs and using that information to inform good evidence-based intervention for the individual.
I think it moves the field forward in a couple of different ways. Number one is really thinking about maximizing the effectiveness of our interventions. For a lot of our evidence-based interventions, we have modest effect sizes, and those effect sizes are often attenuated because we're treating kids with similar looking problems as a homogeneous group, and they're actually a heterogeneous group of kids. I think it's a credibility issue for our profession because precision education is all about, to me, answering the mega research question. It is for whom, under what conditions, and why or how do particular interventions work, and that's at the heart of precision education research.
And I'll piggyback on that. So Maynard Reynolds, 40 years ago, said assessment data should be used to make a difference in the lives of kids and not predictions about them. And we are now proposing a framework that we think finally gets to that we can really collect the data we need to figure out what each individual kid needs. And data never generalized to or from an individual, so each kid has unique needs. This is how we address them.